Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist back again. And today we're doing another how-to. Last time we said, how would you go about starting the game of Yu-Gi-Oh? Today we're going to how to maintaining your collection. Now, this is going to matter a couple of different ways. First and foremost, you have to decide what type of player you're going to be. This is actually going to affect your level of investment into the game. Personally, I consider myself a playset player. And all that means is that once I've gathered 3 copies of a card, I'll be, without it being a separate type of rarity or an alternate art or something that makes it stand out, I generally stop collecting at 3. And this allows me to build up a trade binder a little more effectively. So when we went out and we bought the Egyptian God card structure decks, all 6 of the structure decks I bought had Harpy's Feather Duster in it. Now, Harpy's Feather Duster is limited to 1, so this is the most that you can play in a deck. As a playset player, I'm going to go ahead and collect 3 of these. And the reason being, it's just sake of mind and me standardizing the way that I collect. So I was able to take half of them and just immediately sleeve them, put them in my box, and know that I have 3 copies. There's also 2 different arts when it comes to Harpy's Feather Duster, and if, again, this is one of your favorite cards and you like both arts, feel free, collect 6 total then, because you have 2 different arts. Some cards that I have just an abnormal amount of are things like Dark Magician, Blue Eyes White Dragon. I've even got a couple different Red Eyes Black Dragons, although I prefer the original LOB SDJ variant. I don't know. I guess it was the one that they used in the show, so it was my favorite. But this will help you build up your trade binder. And we'll talk about your trade binder and trading in the next video of this series. So we're not so worried about this today. So let's just toss that out of the way. So the other 2 types of player are, you have some players who they get a deck. And again, I still have appliances sitting around. They get a deck, they trade for the deck, and then they get rid of the deck because they want to play something else. And again, what does that really include? Well, this is basically you're saying you trade core for core. So maybe you don't need a whole lot, but something that would be a player like this, so that I would suggest to do is, I was talking about the long boxes. There's one right there next to my water jug. And we're going to use it here in a second, I promise. But you wouldn't need one that's going to hold, I think that one's a 3,200 count. You don't need that. You can get away with a much smaller one that only holds 500, 550 cards. Because what you're going to do is you're only going to really collect the staples. So again, if you were playing the appliancers, and if you haven't seen my deck profiles for this, I have 2 of them on the channel. Feel free to watch them. You really don't need the appliancer characters when you're done with the deck. So that's immediately 9 cards that you could just trade, or more effectively, you could trade it as a core. I'll talk about that when we get to the binder. However, if you have Ash Blossoms, chances are you're not just going to get rid of them. So you're going to need somewhere to put them when you're not playing them, and this is where the boxes come in handy. So sometimes you'll have cards like that, the Codebreaker 0 Day. You'll put your Parallel Exceeds in there. You'll get rid of the Field Spell. You'll get rid of the Reuse. You'll get rid of the Test. You'll keep the Machine Dupes because those do come in handy. You'll keep your Monster Reborn, your 1-for-1, your Terraforming. You may or may not keep the Where Art Thou. You're definitely not passing off your Impermanence copies or your Strikes. And the same thing goes over to the extra deck. You'll keep Apollosa because it's a good card, great card. But Celtipus, Laundry Dragon, and Vacuelephant, just not really making the cut for every deck. Boral Sword Dragon is making the cut for every deck. If you're just playing a Codebreaker engine, it's 3 cards. You might as well just keep those. Same thing with IP, Nightmares, and Link Karibo. Those are all very important cards. So if you play that style where you play a deck, you trade the deck, you get a new deck, and you just keep doing that, you're still going to want to keep a hold of the staples because good cards are always good cards. And again, if you're only running one deck at a time, maybe don't collect past 3 anyway. So again, it kind of brings back to my playset player. And there's a third type, and these are the guys and gals out there that love to have their decks 100% ready 100% of the time. So these are the players that'll go, well, I want to play appliancers, and they will buy the Ash Blossoms specifically for this. They'll just put that $60 bill and slide it in a box. And again, this is another great reason to have one of these long boxes, because as you can see, one of those little $2 Ultra Pro boxes, they slip right in. I've done it for other games. I literally have long boxes just of decks from other games. It makes it very easy to store. And again, once they're sleeved and boxed, and then also in another box, it allows you to condense the amount of space that you need to require for them. The only reason I'm not this kind of player is because I play so many different decks. I would need like 100 Monster Reborns, 300 Impermanents, 300 Strikes, and obviously, guys, just real quick, even if you're only playing like 3 decks, this is going to get very expensive real quick. And I do have to work within a budget. The big deal with me is I've just never thrown cards away. Like, by being able to go to a playset play style, as far as my collection, I've been able to maintain a smaller collection while being able to play a wider range of decks. One of the things that helps me with this is an app. I have the ygPro for Android. They make these for Android. They make them for iOS. And it's brilliant. So like you can just make a list of nothing but your deck recipes, which is very important. You can take a look and you can actually make different collections. So like if you guys want to know what I own in the TCG OCG, and again, this needs to be updated, and for some reason I have filters on right there. There we go. You guys can scroll through. You'll see how many you have, and everything like that. So this makes things very easy. You guys can create wish lists. These are things that you're going to buy later on. And this will allow you to track what you need to trade for or purchase to maintain your collection. And again, like Speed Duel is a big thing here. So I have all my Speed Duel cards in here, but they're also in that box literally right there. So you can consult this if you're deck building on the go. You know, you got to work lunch break, or you're waiting for your ride to arrive. You got a Lyft or an Uber on the way. You're waiting for a flight. Waiting at the doctor's office, you know, went in for a checkup, what have you. This will allow you to check that. And then when it comes to once you box everything I have is alphabetized and separated by type. It's just the way that I do it. I mean, feel free to organize your cards in a way that makes sense to you. But like these first 2 rows here are nothing but Speed Duel monsters. And again, just to show you what I mean, like as far as why do I organize it? Because I bought the original starter sets. I already had Blue Eyes White Dragon. And then something that they did do was they released it with the Battle City as well. So I can't play 6 Blue Eyes. There's no need for me to have the extra ones. And again, since you can only play a single skill at a time, I have just a stack of cards that don't need to be in my box, even though I own them. I can check my app to know that they're already in this box, or I can just physically look in the box. And the same thing goes for skill cards. Again, this is what happens when you buy things multiple times to make sure that you have play sets moving forward. And as a playset player, I know for a fact right now, up to date, today, it's August 31st when I'm taping this. This should come out on September 2nd. I know for a fact that I have every Speed Duel skill in this small Ultra Pro box here. And when I say that I have additionals of some stuff, when it came to the Battle City Speed Duel, they released secret rare variants of stuff. And I like to use these in my deck profiles too, but I keep the commons as what's actually listed in my inventory. So like I do have 2 secret rare Jinzo. I got the Breaker, Descardius, Spell Canceller, Valkyrian, Cosmic Cyclone, Double Tankies, Crossout, Union Hanger, Lost Wind, Metaverse, Dark Paladin. I think I traded a Buster Blader at some point because it's 1 less than what you would have had I not done that. But again, I was able to do that knowing like 100% factual that I already had a playset. So there's really no point in me having the fourth, except it would look cool to use it if I was only running a single copy. And sometimes I do that with Breaker. Sometimes I just like to throw it in there anyway. But this will help you maintain a collection. Again, feel free. This is just a guideline. You guys can do this however you like. I just like having boxes that I can... Looks like my cat got that. I just like having boxes where I know, like, this entire box is everything I have for Speed Duel. And come February, I'm going to upgrade to the 5K box and get the 5-lane. It's a little bit longer as well. And I'll be able to separate everything that way. But like, I've got, just real quick, all my spells are right here. All the spells are alphabetized. Traps are in the last line. And then right at the back of the box is all of my fusion cards. So everything has its place. Everything was inventoried within the app. And it just makes things a lot easier. And again, there's still a couple of cards I am still missing in Speed Duel. And again, you just kind of click into your wish list and you'll see what you're missing. Now, of course, I'm missing a couple more than what's on here because my listing was incomplete when I went through here doing this. So like, I need to get Night Beams, and I think it's Parasite Paranoid. They're not on this list at all anywhere. And this is what'll help me make sure that I don't reinvest in cards that I already have. So again, being a playset player means I only want to have 3 unless there's something marketably different about the card, whether it be art or rarity that I like better. So I just keep track of all of it there. And the one thing I love about it on the Android, I do have the ability to synchronize. So I can match it from my phone to my app to my tablet app. Same app, same operating system. It just streamlines the whole thing for you. It makes trading just way easier. You know what you have, you know what you need. Sometimes you don't know what you need until you see what you want. You know what I mean? But there's a couple ways that you could do this. I would prefer if everybody just sleeved your cards right off the rip. I think that this allows you to keep your collection in like a more marketable value condition, honestly, because again, maybe this isn't worth but maybe 10 cents right now, but one day Speed Duel is going to be gone. The cards will be out of print. Nobody is going to have the originals. And if you do get out of the game, it's a lot easier to sell and monetize what you have to another player who is interested. If your cards are in better condition, nobody wants, and again, I love pulling this mathematician out. Nobody wants that bent, warped card. Nobody wants that one that's peeling or the one that's kind of just chewed up because it looks like it's been in somebody's pocket for the last 10 years. So doing this, and especially if you can do this from the beginning of a collection, makes it so much easier throughout. And again, these boxes can be picked up at just any hobby shop. If they sell any type of card supplies, whether it be for trading cards like baseball or cards based on movie series, or they do gaming, these boxes are generally available. And again, you can get them in a wide range of sizes. So like, you can get them as small as like a little 500 pack. Definitely fits in your backpack just nice. Or you guys can get up to like a 5,000 card box. And it just helps out just so much. It allows you to just be able to store them. And again, if you store them as just completed decks, or you decide to put deck cores together that way, that's all good and fine and well. And then again, you guys could do the stuff with the apps on the phones and the tablets to then keep track of each individual collection as you're growing them. And that's going to be honestly, it's one of the best ways to manage this, because once you get in too far, if you enjoy the game a lot, you're going to find yourself collecting a lot more cards than just a deck or two, or some that you think are cool. So again, guys, if you liked this, if this helped out, do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And regardless of that nonsense, I really do hope that you guys have a great day, and I hope to see you guys on the next video. And the next one of these, we'll be talking about building up your trade binder and the kind of do's and don'ts of trading. So stay tuned for that, and I hope to have some more deck profiles out here shortly for you guys. Have a great day, my friends. See you later.